let me bring Tezlyn on the line. I'm gonna see what Tezlyn doing. Tez, I know you just heard me in my drunken rant. What you doing to get through these next? Take me off of mute. What you doing to get through these next 4 years, sis?
Well, first of all, let me give a shout out to the Funky Bunch. You guys have been so supportive in the comments saying you couldn't wait to have me on. So I'm excited. I've always been a fan of yours,
Thank
and I'm so
you.
glad that the family introduced me
Yes.
to you, because I
Thank
want to
you.
say this, and this is important. And I do appreciate, and I'm looking at the comments, I do appreciate you protecting your mental health. I
Mhm.
appreciate saying that you're going to cocoon, if you will,
Mhm.
and do what's necessary in order to have a safe space. And
Mhm.
that's important. My program, Push the Line, Politics Until Something Happens. If you look at the logo, you have one person pushing the P, the U, the S, and the H. And then you have a child standing on the side that's watching. And so, although I appreciate that you and many others will say, I will do what needs to protect my mental health. But what I'm doing is, Funky, I haven't had the opportunity to get out of this. I have tried to get out of this every way you can think of. I've had a staffing firm, 300 employees. I'm a veteran. I have worked in corporate America. I've done so many things to run away from my calling. So for
Mhm.
those who are called in this moment,
Yes.
those who are chosen in this moment, we do need some soldiers on the scene.
Y'all
And I
heard me
want,
when I said, I mean, because y'all heard me when I said, get somebody else to do it.
that's right.
Tez ain't gonna do it. Go ahead. Go
but
ahead, sis.
but your role is important because
Mhm.
you're still allowing space for me here. And
Mhm.
that's critically important. You know, that's the first thing that I said is I appreciate when those who do pop culture, entertainment, whatever it is, I talked about it on the Breakfast Club, to allow me just 5 minutes to get somebody else to do it.
Mhm.
Because you have a fan base bigger than mine. And
Mhm.
so if I can just come in for a moment and have 5 minutes to be able to encourage somebody, to
Mhm.
get involved, to be able to encourage somebody to say, I want to do just a little bit more, then that makes a difference, because it really does take Funky, people like you to allow people like me to have that space. So I want to honor you and thank you for that, and protect your mental health. Do what's necessary. But I'm an M60 gunner, baby. So
But
I'm
listen, and I love and thank you for your service. Okay, like when you see the vets, when you see the vets in the airport, thank you for your service.
but
Because
get
my
somebody else to
gay ass
do
wasn't going to the front line. Okay, I'm gonna be back in the office somewhere. And you know what? You're right, Tezlyn. You're right. I'm gonna do my part. You on the front line. I'm gonna be back here in the communications office.
That's right.
Okay, making sure people like you can get the message out. But
Yeah.
Tezlyn, I'm so glad to have you here. We got so much that we want to talk about, and when I was getting ready to prep for having you on, I'm thankful that you sent me what you sent me in my DM about the autopsy,
Mm-hmm.
because it definitely gives us, even though I don't want to spend a whole lot of time harping over how she lost and why she lost. I do agree with what you said in that video, that it is important that we do an autopsy. And baby, you are the doctor. Here is your operating room. Let's go ahead and do a mini autopsy and tell the people, Tezlyn, metaphorically, what you mean by performing an autopsy.
Well, an autopsy is kind of like what you mentioned, when you said a moment ago, I'm just going to seclude myself and I'm just going to cut off the world, and I follow your work. We've all had Big Mama and many others that say when somebody died, they say, don't disturb the body. Let's leave the
Mhm,
body at peace. Just don't cut on my body. And I've always
mhm.
found that interesting, because the Bible says what? To be absent with the body is what?
Present
Present
with the
with the Lord.
Lord.
So why are we so afraid to touch on a dead body? And the reasoning behind that is because we don't really want to have to get into the funk of the dead body. It is
Mhm,
more comfortable to say, I just want to be away. I just want to cut myself off. It's more comfortable. You just said yourself, I'm going to make sure I'm comfortable. But when you
mhm,
start opening up that dead body, anybody can go to the funeral at the end and see the
mhm,
makeup on and see, the nice dress. But when you actually have to get into the funk of it all, and actually have to dig into it, that's where it
mhm.
becomes uncomfortable. So the reason why you're going to hear a lot of people say, let's move on, let's talk about something else, I don't want to be done talking about it, because it forces us to have to actually solve the problem. And
Mhm.
people just don't want to solve the problem, and that's fine. So I just want to go over a couple of points on why this is critically important, because it's not about VP Harris. It's not about attacking her on why she lost. It is about understanding this system and how this system works, how campaigns work. Because if you understood this prior to, you wouldn't be grieving. I wish I had somebody say 5 in the chat. If I only had a praying church, you wouldn't be grieving. See, that meme that you shared that said take time to grieve. See, there's 7 stages of grieving. And by the time you grieving, Black folks, they are plotting, planning, strategizing, Project 22-5 in your ass while you sitting up here going through acceptance, denial, and getting all of this grieving and crying and hollering and screaming all over the body. We have to move forward and dig into the funk of it all so that we can know how to prepare ourselves. Because the reality of it is that although you can be in your house, I'm the senior advisor for the George Floyd family. I'll be spending time with George Floyd's family on Thursday. The reality of it is Roger Fortson, Air Force veteran, still got shot opening up his front door. The reality of it is that Bowman Jean, that we just sued for $100 million, got shot sitting on his couch, being very comfortable eating ice cream. So I got news for you that you can protect yourself, cocoon yourself, make the most comfortable situation. But baby, when them people come knocking at your door, nothing stops you between them seeing you as a threat. And so it is so important that we are still educating ourselves on what happened, because the reality is you got set up to fail in the very beginning. And that's not a slight against Kamala Harris. Let's just go through a couple of things that I talked about on the Breakfast Club. I need you to be prepared, family. I need to know that if you got cancer and they say you got 6 and 8 months to live, I need you to own that. I lost my parents too, both my parents. One died of cancer. When she said, baby, I got 6 and 7 months to live. Don't worry about me because I'm going to be going on with the Lord. So we have to start operating in the strength, in the posture of understanding things and not hiding from things and coping from things, because all it's doing is setting up us to fail. So if you understood how this country works, then we would have understood that, number one, Joe Biden should have gotten off the ballot immediately. When he first decided to run, well, when he ran, you remember Funky said, I'm going to be a one-term president. I'm going to be a one-term president. The moment he got in, he should have been looking for a white man. Yes, folks, a white man. A white man. I know people say, well, Barack Obama did it. Let me remind you, 43 white men were president before Barack Obama. Barack Obama strategically ran for 6 years prior to his run. I need you to also understand that 44 white women were governor, and there has yet to be a Black woman governor. And I'll hear people say, well, you know, we got Black women in Congress, Black women in the Senate. Let me break it down to you, family. Governor and president of the United States is not the same as your city commissioner, the same as your Congress. You are in charge. You are the executor, the executive of it all. I need somebody in the chat to put executive. I need you to know the difference between being the CEO and the supervisor. So let's not do, conflate positions that have nothing to do with the other. We have yet to elect a Black woman governor in this country. So if we look at history, instead of trying to affirm ourselves, Black women, because that's what it was, because we want to be affirmed. We want to know. See, remember when they kept talking about Black girl magic, Black girl magic? See, a lot of this was to pull that Black girl magic, was to put you back in place, was to say, maybe you don't really have the magic that you think, but the devil is a lie. I'm not confused by the setup. I need somebody in the chat to say I'm not confused by the setup. It was a setup to change your mentality, to make you question, to wonder, do I have the magic that I have? The moment that Harris got on the ballot, Win for Black Women did a Zoom. I was on the call. Black women, we gonna do this. Black women, we gonna save America. Black women, we can do it. First of all, we don't have the numbers to do it. Second of all, why are we trying to save America, the same America that raped, robbed, and pillaged us? I wish I had somebody that was a praying church in the building. Why were you so comfortable with jumping out in front of Karen when Karen has already showed you who she was? Karen already showed you, Black men, that when you had an opportunity to vote through the women's suffrage movement, they said, wait, hold on, you giving Black men right? I know you fucking lying. They've already told you. But because me as a Black woman, I want to be affirmed. And I want to believe that, and I'm going to talk to y'all in ways y'all can understand. I want to believe that maybe I'm really not the side chick. Maybe if he come around at 2 a.m. in the morning, maybe he really will leave his wife. Maybe that, that wet spot, maybe, every now and then, am I talking to him? Every now and then,
Check your phone, Tez, and send me that back because I want to post it for the people for the collection plate. I just sent you some text me your cash app.
Okay, no problem.
Mhm.
Maybe he really do love me. Maybe the coochie really is better, and maybe she ain't doing what she's supposed to do at home. I got news for you. The wife is always doing what she's supposed to do at home. Baby, you the side chick. And when I said that, people didn't understand that in Breakfast Club because I didn't have time to expound. But what that means is there is position for the side chick to understand her job. You know, the girl sang and said it's the weekend. I got him on the weekend. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yes, I just keep them satisfied through the weekend. Yes.
On
You
the
like
weekend.
9 to 5, I'm the weekend. Keep
Yeah.
going.
So it's some positioning for the side chicks in the building to understand that you got a job Friday through Sunday, but I need you to understand what white supremacy is. And it is not being defeatist. When people say, well, that's being a defeatist attitude. No, it's understanding how America works. So number one, Joe Biden, when he first ran, if he was serious about being a one-term president, he would have prepared a white man. I know you wanted Harris, and I know a lot of people get mad when I say black, and I'm going to say this, and I say this because I don't like dealing with the comments. She ain't really black. She in there. Bottom line is she ain't white. She damn sure ain't white. Can we agree to that?
We can agree to that.
White. We can agree to
We
that.
can agree to that.
A non-white woman would make you think, and this is to all my black women in the house, tell me when a white woman has ever stepped out of the way to give me something that I deserve over her. Now, a lot of people confuse that funky. They say, I know plenty of white women that gave people a job. Girl, I ain't talking about no damn job at the call center. I'm talking about power.
Yes.
Somebody say
power over them. Yes.
Do you think there will be a woman president? I told Jess Hilary, she said, I think it will be a woman. Yeah, it will. It'll be a white Republican woman first. She is not going to move out of position to give me something before she had.
That she never had. You know what? I want to pause you real quick. You making sense, and you unraveling my hopes and dreams, because when I saw some of your interviews, you were doing CNN and all the different things, and you were like, "Oh, she wasn't gonna win in the first place." I ain't gonna lie. I was like, "Ooh, we are supposed to be hopes and dreams, and we can do it. We can do it." Who is this in my mind anti-Kamala person? But now that you breaking this shit down, I'm feeling a little dumb that I let these people gas me the hell up, because what you're saying is making all the sense.
It's the reality. See, they have a way. I did a poem in 2015 when I said they gave you that hope like a dope fiend. They sold you them dreams. You came, we able. Now you finally at the table. We got crumbs of you at the table. I encourage people to go back. I'm a spoken word artist. See, it wasn't about diminishing me. It was about, they knew that they could tap in. And first of all, let me first say 3,000 black women wrote a letter to tell Joe Biden to keep his ass on the ballot. I need to remind y'all of that. 3,000 black women said, keep your ass on the ballot. So there was some of us that understood that they would rather vote for a half-dead white man by the name of Joseph R. Biden before they vote for a silk press. Let's just be honest about it. They would rather vote, and we know the numbers now. So this ain't about, and it's so interesting because when people heard it, they say, well, who is this saying? When you say, why is she saying that? Y'all arguing with me about the data. They showed you what it is, and people still arguing. The desire to want to be, no, she got to be wrong. Baby, we're looking at the data. Now we're looking at the data. The man said he ain't leaving his wife. The man is only coming around at 2 a.m. in the morning. The man is leaving you at the wet spot. He ain't left you $2. Baby, he only using you for a piece of ass. I need you to get it. As bad as you think you are, as good as you think you are, it's not a diminishing on me. It is understanding who they are. When Charlamagne said, I need you to believe in us, believe in y'all like we believe in y'all. We believe in us. It was never about us believing in us. I don't believe in them. I know who they are. So if Joseph R. Biden was serious about beating Trump, he would have found a white man to do it at the time. I've ran campaigns. I've had over 50 campaigns on my belt. I flipped Michigan for Bernie Sanders in 2015. I was the only black woman on the ground. I'm not talking about what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. VP Harris never made it out the primary. Bottom line, guys, she was just simply not the candidate that Democrats chose. But let's just say that she was. It is impossible to run a campaign in 100 days. Let me explain what that means. Literally, the campaign, Funky, was 100 days. Because remember, Joe Biden didn't campaign prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
So normally when you have a primary, you'll have, like they had 10, 15 different people all organizing votes, what we call get out the vote, all bringing people, you know, in. And then when you find that one candidate, they bring those resources together. What I mean by that is all the field offices that were working for everybody else, all of the literature that's already on the ground, all of everything that's already, you already got the block hot. You already got the adrenaline going. So when you coalesce around a candidate, now you're bringing all those resources together. That did not happen for an entire year. So this woman was set up for the L out the gate. It is no way that anybody, even a white man, would have had a challenge of running a campaign in 100 days. Remember, they hid VP Harris for 4 years. Trump was running this whole time, rally after rally, had a whole media setup, created truth, social media, Twitter, his own version of Twitter, was constantly penetrating day after day after day after day after day after day. And then you put this woman in for 100 days and say, do the best you got. And she didn't have a choice. I want to be clear about that, because all of the donors in Hollywood, the white men, let's be clear, let's name it, said that we're not giving you another dollar unless Joseph Biden sit down. And I just find that interesting. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I find it very interesting.
You think it was disingenuous?
It was absolutely disingenuous. I find it very interesting that the white men, George Clooney and them, said, oh, no. Let's get behind this non-white woman to do the impossible, which literally has never been done, for 100 days. And we're literally going to hold the money back unless you bring her on. So she comes on. Black women run for black women, raise millions of dollars. Next day, black men raise millions of dollars. Shit, they had me confused for a minute. For a moment, I was like, well, shit, well, maybe. maybe so. Maybe so. But I got news for you. Bernie Sanders raised more money than Hillary Clinton and got his ass mollywopped.
Yeah.
Campaigns are not won by money. $1 billion was on this campaign. We're going to talk about how they dropped the bag in a minute. But $1 billion is spent on this campaign. But there's something called the swing states. There's something called being able to galvanize through a little bit of the West, a little bit of the South, and a little bit of the Midwest in order to win. It's something called the Electoral College. They didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. So why do you think they would give it to you? Because you just got that much magic. And even all the magic you got, literally in a campaign for $100, it's impossible. When I worked for Bernie Sanders, who I can't stand, by the way, family, I want y'all to know that. But when I worked for Bernie Sanders in 2015, nobody knew who he was. We had to go on the ground. It took us 6-7 months, Funky, just to tell. We'd be like, well, you know, Bernie Sanders, the one with the gray hair, the older man, just to get them to even know who the hell we was talking about.
The old grumpy man.
Yeah, the old grumpy man. By the way, reason why I was successful in Michigan, I don't want to pop myself in the collar. I'll just give you this quick tidbit, and thank you for giving me time and not rushing.
Oh, girl, we got nothing but time.
So with Bernie, I'm glad you mentioned grumpy man, because I want people to know how important messaging is. Hillary Clinton had Detroit. She had Detroit locked up. She didn't go to Flint. At that particular time, Flint was dealing with the Flint water crisis. I was the only black, while my mother was dying of cancer, by the way, while my daughter was 7 years old. And I was the only black woman on the ground in Michigan. I went to Flint and got Danielle Green and 5 other black people. Bernie Sanders, only 5 black people he met. Probably the only 5. He ain't met 5 since. And I set up a meeting with Danielle Green and Bernie Sanders. When he hugged her and showed empathy on his face, because everybody knew him by Grumpy Bernie Sanders, they took that one image, made commercials all throughout Michigan. That helped show some type. Then we did town halls with Danielle Green. Danielle Green eventually ran for school board. We did town halls with Danielle Green. I focused on the black vote in Flint. The white boys, the white progressives focused on the labor unions in Michigan. And then Bernie Sanders had the college vote. Those 3 coalitions is how we were able to win within 2%. Yeah, because Detroit couldn't hold the vote by itself. I want to bring it out because I want people to know how messaging works. You said grumpy Bernie Sanders. That one image of him showing empathy is what helped him win that. But again, guys, that takes time to do. In 100 days is impossible. So I knew out the gate. You got a question?
She wasn't. Yeah, I was going to say really quickly on the subject of imaging. I put up something on Instagram shortly after she lost, and the girls ate me up. And I said, the next go around, the Democrats need to run a JFK looking white man, another white man that's smooth, suave, easy on the eye, and he don't need to be gay either. I said, honest and truthfully, and I know DEI and diversification is under attack right now. Now ain't the time for us to be pushing these damn boundaries, trying to get gay presidents, black women presidents. I said we need another good-looking white man who's suave. And the girls ate me alive, but it is the God honest truth, because it's what is palatable to America. I think the next guy needs to be a George Clooney looking white man.
Yeah, well, they ate you alive because as a black woman, we want to be affirmed.
Yeah,
we want to know that we're good enough. We still have a desire to say, you're good enough, sis. And what I'm telling my sisters, you need to know that you're good enough. But I need you to know that the real power is in being mayor. The real power is being governor. The real power, if you are serious about changing your community, in Atlanta, there's 16 commissioners. Why would you not want to be the mayor? And all you got to do is convince 15 other people. Why do you, what is this fascination with president that got to convince 435 people in Congress to follow their agenda? If you really want to change something on the local level, in Atlanta as mayor, you can say, I want a charter school here if this public school ain't performing. You can say, you can put pressure on the public school board to say, we're going to make sure it get funded. You can do things like my brother Killer Mike, Bankhead Seafood, and say, we're going to remove all of the hell y'all got to go through with the red tape to make sure you get a business. You can actually do things like in Orlando, fund the Black Business Investment Fund. You can do things like pass reparations on the local level. I don't know this fact. See, we love these titles. Can I just go ahead and name it?
Yeah,
we love these titles. We love, you know, I want to feel like I'm the big dog. See, there's puppets and there's puppet masters. And what I need you to understand about the president, it is a puppet. If you want to be the puppet master and you want to actually be in control and you want to have executive decisions, then you need to be talking about mayor, governor at best, because that's where the real power is. But it ain't sexy enough to people, Funky. They want to, they like to go to the White House. They think that that's actually power when it's not. It's not power. You got to convince. I don't want to be arguing, just like you said, you don't want to be arguing with no Karen. I ain't trying to be arguing with no 435 people in Congress either. I'd rather argue with 16 in Orlando, Florida, where I got my political chops. It's 6 people on the commissioner. All I got to do is get 4 people on my side.
That's so much easier.
So much easier. And I'm actually changing my community.
Yes.
Because the reality of it is, you are concerned with what outside your door. See, these white people showed you, the Latino people showed you, the Asians showed you that they are concerned what's outside your door. Black people are the only ones worried about, well, you know, let's talk about it with Thanksgiving. What auntie, y'all put a 5 in the chat if y'all tell me if the truth.
Put a 5 in the Cash App collection plate. It's up there, y'all.
I appreciate it. Y'all tell me if I ain't lying. On Thanksgiving, don't auntie or big mama and them set a plate aside for somebody before everybody eat? Every Thanksgiving. Well, let me set this aside for Steve and Kurt. Before anybody touched the food. Black women setting aside plates, sitting it on top of the refrigerator way in the back. Before we start, because that's the spirit of a black woman. We're nurturers. We're taking care of everybody. But black women, I need you to get up out that shit when we talking about politics. We have got to get to the point that if Kirk and Steve ain't on time, like everybody else don't eat, play, then your ass ain't eat.
Come on, somebody.
This is how they play us. See, I'm not Harriet Tubman. I'm sorry. Just like you said, get somebody else to do it. Y'all gonna get somebody else to be Harriet Tubman, because I'm not gonna come back looking for your ass. You gonna come when I honk the horn. You better come to. My grandmother was a bus driver, and she said she ain't waiting on me. So if my grandmother wasn't waiting on me, I ain't waiting on your ass. See, we got to get into the spirit of knowing that when I come around this block and honk this horn, your ass better be ready. The rapture said, what did the rapture say? He said he gonna toot the horn. You gonna hear Gabriel's horn, and he ain't gonna do it twice and 3 and 4 times and saying, well, maybe it's you ready. No, you gonna hear it one time. They said the dead gonna rise one time. So we are in the movement of Lazarus and the dead rising. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar and Resurrection. It is time for us to be moving. Some of us gonna be in the house, but some of us need to be moving. But if Funky gonna be in the house and allow me access to this platform just every now and then, so I can wake up Lazarus and tell you to get up on them dry bones.
You got it. You got it.
So they have played us in our mind to set aside food for Steve and Kirk. And they knew that they could only do it with the black woman because we've been nursing their babies for a long time. They knew that we would tell ourselves, even though black people are only 15% of the population, they knew that we would psych ourselves up. A pimp once said, you ain't got to lie to a woman. You can tell her the truth. She'll lie to herself. Can I say it one more time? I said, A pimp once said, you ain't got to lie to a woman. Tell her the truth. She'll lie to herself. So we got caught up in the rapture of love. I know you like to sing. Caught
Come
up
on,
in the
Anita.
we got caught up. We got caught up in the rapture of Black women's love.
Yeah.
And we started really believing it. And it was okay to believe it. But I need you to get out there grieving though and get busy. So they were never white women. And they showed you. There's a clip on my Instagram where the white woman said I was going to vote for Biden. But I just couldn't do it. Well, why you couldn't do it? Single mama with 3 boys. Why she couldn't do it? You know why she couldn't do it? Because she going to make sure that her sons are in position of power. See, this was about supremacy, order, hierarchy. This was about separating the wives from the hoes. This was about separating the queens from the concubines. This was about separating the main one from the side chicks. See, this is about understanding where they are. And guess what? I ain't mad at it because they should be pushing their interests. I need people to stop saying, I hear Joy Reid, she said all the time, said out to the sister Joy Reid. She said all the time, white women voted against their interests. No, baby, this is their interest. This is their interest. Yeah. See, even though they got a separate interest, this is their
main interest.
This is their main interest is making sure that they are above you, Black man and Black woman, because when it comes down to abortion, they can just go to Michigan where you still can get abortion. They can just get the money and say, if I can't get it in Texas, I'll just go to Michigan. See, Black people are the only ones that operate in the mindset of, well, we got to take care of everybody. So that's why we push federal thing. I understand why states' rights are harmful to us, because states' rights are harmful because we know that our cousin Tony can't just pick up from Oklahoma and go to a Michigan. So we are looking out for everybody. That's right. Where they're saying leave it to the states. But I hope that this gives Lazarus an opportunity to get busy in your state, because everybody can't move to Atlanta. Everybody can't move to Colorado. Everybody can't move to California. So this is an opportunity to get busy in your state. So backing up, and thank you for the time. 100 Days Impossible. And I want to talk about the messaging a moment with abortion, because you talked about that. I want to tell you how you got hoodwinked on that.
Let me pause you for a second, Tez. I just need to breathe because you just let out all the motherfucking air out my cell, bitch. I mean, I didn't mean to call you that. No
problem. I'm gonna put it back up before I leave.
Okay, because I'm sitting here feeling stupid and hoodwinked, bamboozled that I, to your point, bought into the whole Black girl magic, Black women, we could do it. And it's so funny because to have poured 100 days worth of emotional energy into something, and to now hear you tell me that it was in vain and I should have known, but get better from the beginning, and then to back it up with the history and everything, I'm just wanting to sing Denise Williams' Silly of Me right now, because I am feeling really foolish. And I'm like, damn, and it's weird because if I'm being honest, Tezlyn, and I don't want to taint the conversation too much, but and I know we're using a lot of church references. It's a lot of that church bamboozling went on too, which is sell Black people hope. That's all you got to do is sell us hope, and logic and reason and rationale completely goes out the window. And when you just broke down the facts, I'm sitting here like, damn it, how did I even fall for all this? I'm smarter than this.
But the good news is, this is why the autopsy is important, because it is not a slight on your intelligence. It's not a slight on people that didn't want to feel hopeful. It's not a slight on people that said, Tezlyn just manifested. That's why when I said in the beginning, I said they're setting her up for the L. I didn't say anything at all, Funky, because I knew that if I did, they would say, you're not manifesting it. You're not being positive. I just said, I'm just going to sit back and wait. Y'all going to have to show me. White women going to have to show me. I wanted to be like Jesse Jackson too, and sitting up there crying. It's nothing wrong with being hopeful. But the information I'm giving you is from working on 30 different campaigns. So people don't know what they don't know.
Right.
Just like we're looking at the facts, but E. Nicole is still in the comments saying poor whites voted against their interests. Even though I'm laying out the facts, I'm telling you that white supremacy is their interest. And even if it means they have to take an L, I need you to know, stop telling people what their interest is. If I tell you that my interest is making sure that my child does X, Y, Z, that ain't your. We're having a real disconnect with this word interest. I really need people to grasp this. Their interest is to be above you, even if it means taking an L. Have y'all not seen suicide bombers? Do y'all not understand? Like people say, well, I don't understand the Palestine. It don't make no sense. Why would they do that if this was going to be worse on the truck? See, black people, we're always thinking about everybody else and what my interest is. You're not understand. See, I'm a veteran. I signed up to raise my hand to die for the cause. I work with Attorney Crump. I have drones flying over my head. I went on Netflix with 20 million people and said I'm willing to die for the cause. My interest is to die for the cause. So in your civilian mind, you're not understanding how white supremacy works. Raped, robbed, pillaged, enslaved us. Their interest
is to be above us.
It's to be above you. Why are you still thinking about this as the cost of eggs? The devil is a lie. You want them to be something so different.
Which was the president? Which president that said if you can convince the poorest white man that he is above the richest black man, you can pick their pockets forever? It was one of those presidents. It was Nixon. It was somebody that said, yeah.
And well, we ain't got to talk about that. White progressives, the reason why I can't stand them and sue them and sue the Bernie Sanders movement for anti-black racism is they push those narratives. They pretend that they're so much on our side and just think, well, as long as you do economics, it's all well. Bernie Sanders don't like dealing with race. He believes that as long as everybody makes a certain amount and as long as it's about class and as long all is well. But see, the devil is a lie because rich black men in rich neighborhoods that's driving fancy cars get pulled over all the time. So race will always be a part of the equation. Will always be a part. It can be class. It can be money. Sure, things are easier when you got money. We know that. We ain't dumb, but it still is a part of the equation. And those who want to wipe that out, they don't want to have to deal with it. And that's not just Republicans. It's also progressives. It's also Democrats. So I don't want anybody to feel foolish. I want y'all to go in with y'all armor on, understanding what it is. It was okay to be hopeful and hope for the best. What I'm trying to say is I hope for the best. I hope when my mama, when they said she had 6 months to live, I hope, Funky, that they were wrong. I hope that cancer didn't take over like it took over her daddy. I was hoping that maybe she could manifest herself in something different. But the reality is the cancer took over her body. So now I must dig into the autopsy. Now I must save myself. Now I must save my daughter. I can't just bury her and say, well, you know, it was just cancer and we know it was cancer and all is well. And let's just go on. I must, because if I have concern for how I move, if I have concern with how my daughter moves, because see, that's how they moving. They ain't sitting up here saying, well, I'm just not going to worry about it. I would just, no. They saying, let me get myself together. I need y'all to stop saying they voted against their interests. Their interests. I need to say it louder. It's to be above you. And a poor white man knows that they are in a better position than your black rich ass. You must know that.
I found the quote. It was President Lyndon B. Johnson, and I wrote it down there, guys. He said, if you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he will empty his pockets for you.
That's it. He also said if he'll get get black people, you can convince Democrats, paraphrasing, that they'll be voting Democrat for the next 200 years. So I don't want nobody to feel foolish about it. We just gonna get the information. We're gonna get this information out. It was nothing wrong with wanting to see a silk press. You know, in the white, ain't nothing wrong with it. But the reality is you need to know if you think white women about to get out their position for, and that don't mean we're not qualified for it, overqualified for it. Two things can be true at the same time. So when we talk about messaging, I want to talk about that quickly. Democrats they ran on two things: democracy and reproductive rights. That was a failed strategy out the gate. And I'll tell you why. Democrats had the wise idea to put abortion literally on the ballot in Arizona and Nevada. You had 7 swing states. Every other state don't matter. 7 swing states. They had abortion on the ballot in Arizona and Nevada. Guess what them Trump women did? Brought abortion back and still voted for Trump. See, two things we do true at the same time. Democrats thought they was being smart and saying, well, let's put abortion on ballot because that's going to bring more voters out. Well, all you did was literally split the baby, and you allowed a Republican woman who was pro-Trump to say, I'm going to vote to bring abortion back because, you know, they believe in ring before spring. We can talk
about despite the fact that they fucking out of both pants legs. I went to Florida State University, and it was the #1 party school while I was there. It was a white girl that taught me how to bring vodka in an Evian water bottle and drink it in class.
Yeah, let's break that down because they probably don't know ring for spring. So let's just pause on that a moment. Guys, what that means is, see, white women raise their daughters that if you have a baby out of wedlock, my mother was push that on me too. I had my child in wedlock. I was married for 7 years before I had my child. But see, white women, they really train their girls up on that if, number one, you go to college, you find a husband. That's bottom line. And you ain't bringing no baby in this house. So it ain't that white women ain't having abortions, because they having them in droves. Because what they ain't gonna do is make sure that Becky and them get pregnant in college, because in their mind that once you get pregnant, you're damaged goods. Now see, the Democrat Party will make you want to believe that black women are the ones talking about abortion. But if you go look at any abortion rally in all them pussycat hats, you couldn't see a black woman for miles. Black women, we have our children. It's not that we don't have abortions, but funky, we're more likely to have our children. Now we're disproportionate when we talk about abortions because of poverty. When we don't have our children, it's because of poverty. But we have our children. You know how we know this? Because don't all they call us is single black mamas. So which one is it? Are we single black mamas?
Or are we abortions?
Are we abortion? Because we can't be both. See, black women will say, you know what? If Tyrone don't want to help, I'll have mine. Remember, thanks for my child in the 80s.
Come on, Cheryl Pepsi Riley.
That's right.
Come on.
I'll have my baby. If you don't want to be here, we gonna be all right. We gonna figure it out. So black women have had our children. That's why you don't see us at abortion rallies. Them white girls doing that. If anything, for reproductive rights, they should have been talking to black women about fibroids and the importance of birth control and how black women lead in fibroids. That's what y'all should have been talking. But y'all was talking about abortion, thinking that was going all of a sudden, instead of talking about economics first, which is why black women have abortions, instead of going straight to abortion. That was a white woman's message. But guess what? The white woman has the economic ability to go to Michigan if she lives in Texas.
Yeah.
So to run on that messaging alone didn't make no sense. Second thing they ran on was democracy. Trump ran on dictatorship, immigration, and the economy.
And blatantly upholding white supremacy. I think that went above all of that.
It did, aka dictatorship.
Off rip, he let you know, I'm the white people president, and I'm here for white folks. And he spoke in coded language, but it was flat out. Yeah, those dog whistles were loud and clear.
I
am here for white people.
That's it. So when me and Charlamagne went back, he said, well, he ain't a dictator. People just, he just gonna get it done by any means necessary. That's called a dictator. When you skip over Congress and you do what the hell you want to do, and you write executive orders, and I was telling people, why don't y'all write an executive order for George Floyd today? Why don't y'all write an executive order to remove college debt? Everybody said, tell me, you don't know how Congress works. You got to go through Congress. If you don't go through Congress, you need to understand they're going to change it back. I was saying, those days are over with. The bipartisan getting there. We are in an authoritative government, federal level, moving forward. Trump has forever changed that. I said, go in there like a gangster, write that shit, because if you do, you're going to get your voters out and we're going to keep you in office. If you go be a dictator, we're going to keep you in office. So you ain't got to worry about Republicans coming in and changing it back. And if they do come change it back, so the hell what? You win again and change it back again. See, Republicans don't give a damn about changing it back. That's why they changed Roe versus Wade. They're about to change back Obamacare, about to change back a whole bunch of shit. They changing DEI. They don't give a damn about changing back. Democrats the only ones sitting up here, and I'm an independent, by the way. I left the Democrat Party in 2010. They don't give a damn about changing nothing back. Democrats don't. We got to do it the right way. Doing the right way got your ass put out the game. It got your ass put out the game. So the messaging was wrong simply because, again, if 7 swing states, if 2 of those states that you needed were pro-immigration, and you gave them an opportunity to put abortion on the ballot, you lost those 2 right out the gate.
Did. And let
me remind y'all, because I see a lot of y'all in the comment, they gonna fuck around and find out. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all gonna be the ones fucking around. I need y'all to get this, family. I think I saw you like, they're gonna have buyer's remorse. No, Funky, they not. They wanted this. Look at the clip on my thing. The man said, I'm gonna lose money with Trump. I made more money with Biden because of the services that he sell with environmental sun stuff for his house.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, I'm going to lose money, but we need to get immigrants out of here. I really need y'all, if y'all don't get nothing else from this, stop saying they gonna find out, they gonna see, they want this, guys. Walmart wanted this. Corporations said we're gonna give $100 million to black firms in 2020. They never gave us the money. So this was a perfect out. They wanted this. They want to crash out. Y'all ain't never seen nobody crash. I come from the gangbanging era, so I understand crash out. They're willing to crash out. Mm-hmm. They're willing to get in the plane, drive it, fly through the Twin Towers. Y'all need to stop saying they gonna find out. They're okay with finding out.
Because they got the power and the money to
That's right.
Correct. The course correct.
And even if they're poor, I need y'all to get this. Stop thinking that you're on the same level as a poor white person. Because even if they're poor, they are putting their sons and daughters in position.
And
when you talk about what they just, when they talk about now taking affirmative action out the colleges so that black student don't now get the seat that skips over that white student, they are putting their children in position. You gonna be the one to fuck around and find out. They've already fucked around and they found out.
And now
they're all right with it.
And now they're doing something.
I try to get, I can't get civilians to understand the mindset of when it was time to go to the military and said, you know, even my recruiter, why don't you want to go be an admin or a nurse? I'm like, no, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I want to be an M60 gunner because Reggie Evans told me I couldn't. A lot of people don't raise their hand and say, no, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to be the firefighter. I'm willing to be the police officer. I'm willing to be. So a lot of people's mindset, because most people's mindset is, hey, I'm just going to get somebody else to do it. So people don't understand the mindset of white supremacy. Mm-hmm. Even being the minority in this country, they're willing to do it all. Mm-hmm. Willing to do it all. Necessary. Whatever necessary, including crash out. Black people are the ones that are strategic with our vote, not them. They're very clear. So the messaging was wrong. But let's get to this part. Once they said, okay, she the candidate. Let's go forward. Joe Biden, you're too old, allegedly. I don't give a damn what you say. Harris didn't even win Scranton, Pennsylvania. Joe Biden would at least won Scranton, Pennsylvania. And this ain't no diss against Harris. This is not about her as a person, guys. Get out your feeling. We're talking about a silk press. It's all about the silk press. Nothing else but about the silk press. Remember, Joe Biden was one of them, Funky. Remember? When Obama was on the ticket, they brought segregates with his segregating ass. Joe Biden on the ticket then because he was able. That's where the name Uncle Joe came from. That's where let's bring him in and let's let him go talk to the good old boy. Joe Biden's always been one of them. That's why I said, you know, these are my friends. These are my friends. Well, Bernie Sanders. Oh, you know, Joe Biden is my friend. Didn't want to endorse Harris though. Waited till the last 12th hour to endorse Harris. But Joe Biden did it immediately. Joe Biden's my friend. These white men are friends. Democrat, Republican, they are friends. So
they got one common goal.
They got one common goal.
White
Democrat,
supremacy.
Republican, and we don't need to be mad about it. We just need to understand it. We just need to understand it. Ain't no point in being mad about it. Let's just understand it. So when they said, okay, everybody get behind Harris, they didn't have a choice. The money, they said, we ain't giving you no more money to do it. Okay, cool. So now, $1 billion raised, what are we going to do with the bag? And this is where I take issue. People say, well, Tezlyn, I thought you said they wasn't going to vote for it anyway. Well, yeah, I did see that. And yes, a lot, and just so y'all know, I'm not retarded, guys. I know a lot of white people did vote for her. I get that. No, I'm not dumb. You know, Latinos voted. Plenty of people voted for her. But I'm talking about the win or the loss. Bottom line, the 7 swing states. You either won or you didn't. We're not talking about, but we got to celebrate those that did. We're talking about it wasn't enough. So I'm generalizing overall so you can get and so you can stop believing that just because old girl is cool with you at work and telling you at work, yeah, girl, I'm gonna vote for Harris. I'm telling you that when they close that damn closet, you don't know what the hell they gonna do.
Exactly.
Stop believing that your cool homegirl or even the woman you dating or the man you dating is the same when it's time to decide power. My 17-year-old daughter was going back and forth with her friends. You know, why they vote? I said, baby, because they're doing what they Paul told.
Yeah.
They cool with you, but see, they Paul and they grandpa and them. You have to understand that every penitentiary in the world knows this. You go into the penitentiary, I don't care, straight, gay, whatever it is. If there's a riot, your animal instinct is going to run towards what looks like you. You can be cool with the Latinos, you can be cool with the whites, you can do that. But there is a riot, you are never going to see no lion follow no giraffe and no riot. You are going to automatically align with what looks like you. And I need people to understand how politics works. That it is all about people aligning what their interest is, which is usually people that look like them. And it also don't mean everybody look like us got our best interests. I want to be clear about that because they don't. But I'm just giving you the analogies so people can stop thinking that this is a co-worker situation, that this is I had a good supervisor that gave me a good job situation, or I date a white woman and she really cool, or I date a white man and she really cool. I'm not mad at white folks. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
pause for 1 second, because I like to make sure our guest pastors get their honorarium. Check your cash app. I think we don't flooded you the fuck out, sis. They said it don't shut the fuck down. Is it working? Is it going through?
I think it is going through. Thank you.
Because some people saying they're getting errors, which means we don't flooded it the fuck out.
Oh, it is. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Do you got something else that doesn't give away your phone number?
No, that's it. Yeah, that's fine.
Because they say it's not working. Let me see. Keep going.
I'm looking at it coming through.
Okay, they say it's working. Okay, well, if they cut you down, that's because we don't blew it the fuck up.
Well, so I appreciate that. That's the first time ever.
Keep going.
Okay, so again, so once we decided, or once they decided, okay, let's get behind Harris. Well, now we got to talk about what we supposed to do with this money. Y'all got $1 billion. Funky, less than 2% was spent in the Black community. This is very important. Less than 2%. And y'all can go look it up. It's available online. Go through 572 lines so you can see where the money went. They were giving Derrick Johnson at the NAACP, first time ever, supported Harris, was on the first call to raise money. He had to call out the campaign with Black folks in charge, by the way, to say, y'all not giving money to the organizations to get the vote out. And I know people say people don't need money to get the votes out. Yes, you do. You have to pay canvassers $15 an hour. You have to get literature. You got to pay these folks. Like Until Freedom, when they went around, they go into different cities. You got to get hotels. You got to get flight. I don't think people understand like what get out the vote means. Get out the vote is an actual real job, and it requires money. Do you know they were giving organizations like 100 Black men $75,000? They gave one Church of God in Christ. I think they gave them, and don't misquote me, but I know it was in a couple of $100, like 200 something thousand.
I think Roland Martin got either 250.
Yeah, Roland got his money, child.
Shit, they didn't call me. They didn't call me. All that Gucci stuff in the Gucci store I wanted, they didn't call me. But go ahead.
Roland get mad. They got mad because Roland talked about, you fools, I got money for advertising. Okay, he did get 500,000 though, y'all. Let me hold something.
Okay,
but
damn.
but like Revolt didn't get what they got in 2020. They didn't get half. And the kick of the news, what I need y'all to know with these white liberals that run these campaigns and Black faces that block, they didn't get the money until 3 weeks out. They
let me ask you this. Is the reason why they didn't give the money because they already knew that we were going to follow blindly and they didn't have to spend it?
They didn't have to. For what? And they've been doing this for years, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They started this. Is one reason why I left in 2010. In 2008, and because at that time I was living in Florida. You're from Florida. It was a swing state at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And when Barack Obama ran, they didn't give shit to Black people then because everybody was so excited about about Black people. They would go to the hairdressers and all them. Put the sign up and do all that, but was paying for white folks' space. So then in 2010, when they lost in the midterms that year, we were screaming then like, come on, take care of the ground, take care of the ground, take care of the ground. What happened this time, Funky, is the gatekeepers got gate kept.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say one more time. The gatekeepers got gate kept. So those who were used to getting the money, the NAACPs, the churches, Divine Nine, all of that, when they saw they was getting checks for 50,000 and 100,000 at best, they said, "Oh, what the hell going on?" I had so many people calling, dropping down. Tez, they only gave it because they know I was gonna say it. They only gave us XYZ. I said, "I know." I said, "We the streets been ain't got nothing."
The streets been dry, baby, on all fronts. All fronts. I got a homegirl.
Ain't getting it.
I got a homegirl now at the strip club. She say she left last night. She was there from 5 to 10 and only made $30, baby. The streets is dry.
The streets been dry. And guess what? When I ran for office in 2011, as a side note, guess who did my petition drive? The strippers and the bikers. So I've always been about, let's put that money on the street. Let's make sure people, because that's actually get out the vote. The media is important. Somebody said here, all Black media should have got a check. Absolutely. But you cannot win a war with just the Air Force. The Air Force is up high. That's what I consider the media. That's your podcast, your media. We need up high. But you always need the ground. That's why we have two branches that focus on the ground, Marines and Army, focus on the ground. You have the Army that does one thing. You have the Marines that do a few good men. So when you say get somebody else to do it, in this analogy, I would be the Marine. Everybody don't want to do what I want to do. But we still need foot soldiers.
You still need them.
in the Army to do other things. Everybody don't want to do what I do, but then we also need people in the Air Force. You would be the Air Force in this analogy. We need every now and then just to sprinkle a little something, you know, put a little something out there, whatever. We need the Navy that's going to do what they're going to do on the outside. I look at those organizations, the nonprofits centering us around. A war and a battle is just like that. It's won just like that. So they figured, hey, well, you know, Black people going to do what they're going to do anyway. So we're just going to move our money to go follow
try to convince other
That's right. To try to convince white folks and fail. It didn't work in the swing states. This is what people need to understand. If they spent the money they needed to spend in Georgia, Black people carried Georgia. If you spent the money in Atlanta, Savannah, Macon, and Augusta, the reason why Stacey Abrams didn't do that well, because she ran like she was running Atlanta mayor, not focusing on those other 3 or 4 states, spending the money. It hurt. So Atlanta, to me, when I was predicting, I was like, okay, if they do get one of these, I know North Carolina, even though North Carolina got a Democrat governor, I need y'all to understand, y'all. People can like they Democrat governor, but they still want to give it no silk press. They like their Democrat white governor, but they still gonna give it to no silk press. So when I looked at between North Carolina and Georgia, I said, okay, if they spend the money right in Georgia, because it is enough Black girl magic and Black boy magic in Georgia, because they did, but it was only about 15,000. But when you don't give the money and you give it 3 weeks out and think people just supposed to do it, also the money, Funky, is spent like literally taking people to the polls. Like you literally have to take people to the poll. And when I tell people you need to buy the vote, people say, "What you mean buy the vote?" What I mean is, you go fund. It shouldn't have been a Black little league team in the country that don't have no uniforms.
Come on, somebody. It's basic, sis. It's simple. It's basic. It really is. Go to the hood, throw a block party, give us a soul food plate and a turkey voucher for $15, baby. And you see they going up for these little measly $1,200 checks that they think Trump gave them.
That's right.
But you're right. Oh my God. Little league uniforms, that would have touched the entire Black hood in every community.
And when you do things like that, because politics is about buying votes. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's what it's about. So Alexa, welcome to Tezlyn Trey Shot No Chaser. If I want to say silk press, I'm gonna say silk press. I love you, baby, but I say what I want to say. You can't tell me what to say. I'm saying that, you know, being
metaphorically,
metaphorically, because I need you to understand what they see with Black women. So let's move. And this is another thing, we got to stop worrying so much about the personality and let's worry about the people. We get so caught up in that, and that's how we got caught up in the rapture of love, because we're so concerned about her. She's at home minding her damn business. We over here trying to figure out
her rich business,
by the way.
And white man protected.
That's right. So get over it, baby. Sis, love you, but I don't give a damn about none of that. I'm trying to get you to get it, and I speak in ways that people need to get, because I need you, because it is really just that damn simple to what they saw, because they did not see her qualifications. They did not see respect for her. They did not see what you saw. So I need you to see what they saw, and what they saw is the silk press. The
silk press that AKA do.
That saw it. And so if that bothers you, then baby, we got a lot of growing up to do in this thing called politics. So let's move on. So when you buy the vote in that way, in Florida, Trump had 30 Latino community centers. In those community centers, it wasn't about voting. They gave them vouchers. They helped them with job assistance. They helped them find health care. That type of stuff, Funky, is just enough to shave off 2, 3, 4, 5% of the vote.
Yeah.
It was never about winning a whole lot. It was about margins. It's about the margins.
Yeah. And to your point, if somebody is hungry and you give them a 69-cent a can of Campbell's soup, you've changed their world.
Yep.
And that's what he did, because I can speak for Miami and the Latinos. They ain't rich, baby, they poor. But you give a poor person a can of soup and they hungry, you've changed their world. Continue.
Just a receipt for that. And people say, Tezlyn, you always talking about receipts, but it's important because I like people to know I back up what I say. 2011 in Orlando, Florida, I owned a staffing firm, 300 employees, called the Allied Group. My employees at the time that was going through the NBA lockout, I went against the city of Orlando. People can Google this. You can just put in assist the bench, Tezlyn Figaro, the news articles will pop up, so you know I'm not lying. I said that if while y'all over here arguing about millions of dollars, my people still need Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner. Not only was I able to get my employees fed, but 1,500 people fed. I can go in Orlando right now, haven't been there since 2015, and can get a room full of 3,000 people based on what I did in 2011. When you give somebody, when you step out of and say, because everybody said, Tezlyn, don't do that, you're gonna lose the contract. The mayor told me, Tezlyn, we still getting our money with the Amway Center. We need you to be quiet. I said, no, that's not leadership. Leadership means making sure people eat. So when you do that, I know I can't go live without my employee from 2011 that was 17 years old that ain't gonna be on that.
Show up.
Because it means something when you give food to eat, when you give a damn enough. But see, the difference is when they say, Tezlyn, you always put your name on. You don't want to tell nobody. See, I'm like Trump. I'm going to put my name on it. I'm going to sign my name on it. So y'all better start learning. See, if Barack Obama and them did, remember when he was saying, we did it, we just didn't put our name on it. Well, you should have put your name on it.
Because it came back to eat, it came back to beat our, to bite us in the ass. Now they're going around talking about Trump gave us them checks. And no, he did not.
Why you didn't want to put your name on it? It's business. If a man give you $250 to get your hair done, he wants you to know he gave it to you, baby. If I give you something, I want you to know, oh, baby, I gave you that.
Tez, knock that question out for me real quick.
Okay. I'm listening, Londa. What does silk press mean, please? Is it because Kay Harris? I was watching the playback. What I was saying was we were talking about, because, you know, some people say she ain't black. Some people say in America. So I say she's a non-black woman. And if you go back and watch the replay, we were talking about, you know, white women and white men not wanting to vote for a non-black woman. And so as we got into the conversation, I was saying, baby, they didn't want that silk press, you know, in the office. I was just talking about her hair, you know.
So metaphorically, guys, metaphorically, it means something that ain't white.
Right.
Black women tend to wear silk press, the wrap, whatever you want to call it, for those in London. And shout out to all my people overseas who are listening to me and Tez get down on the politics. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, and I'll stop saying it because if it becomes a distraction, when you're caught up on the silk press and not this strategy. So I'll say, because that, again, that's how we get caught up. But a lot of people would always say, man, her hair was fly tonight, or they would say, you know, as she was campaigning. So I was referring to that. So I just won't say that, and not because y'all get to tell me what to do, because I'm real hard headed, but I'm doing it because I don't want it to be a strategy.
The distraction.
A distraction. So where's we were talking about
I see a lot of people. I don't know how many more points you got, but a lot of people, and I'm sure it's somewhere on your list. A lot of people are asking, so what do we do now?
And I'm going to get to that. And I know people want to hurry up and get, you know why they want to get to that? Because they never want to hear about the autopsy. They never want to hear about the autopsy. When the funeral going to be? When the pastor going to get to the end? What time we get to the eulogy? What time we going to the repast? Who bringing what to the repast? You gonna sit here and listen to the pastor's message now, because I can't tell you what to do if you don't know what happened. Let me say it one time. How you gonna know what to do if you don't know? I know you want to hurry up and get to that, but you got to sit here and eat this food. And if it means just 5 and 10 of us eating this food, and we just gonna be sitting there eating this food, we gotta go through all these points. So I'm getting to it. The pastor gonna get to it. Just bear with me just a moment. Where's my put my the pastor?
There you go.
I ain't gonna hold you too much longer.
There you go.
And I forgot where we were, because it was a point though that I wanted to make before you asked me that.
Well, I'm so sorry for cutting you
off. Okay. Then we're talking about giving money. We're talking about giving money to the hood, and, you know, taking care. Oh, that was one point. Then I get to that. When Obama, you know, President Obama said, we just didn't put our name on it. We did the same way. You should put your name on it. See, Trump did it. Also, you remember Governor Kemp did that in Florida during Corona. One thing that hurt Stacey Abrams, whether you liked it or not, when they were struggling, Governor Kemp gave people a Governor Kemp card, a Kemp card. And every time they swiped it, Kemp card, Kemp card, Kemp card. That's the messaging. See, Democrats too proud. We don't want to talk about what we do. We just we do it silent, and we don't want to talk about it. No, you better be talking about it, because Trump talks about it. So now by the time Trump talking about it for 4 years straight, day in, day out, lies, truth, whatever it is, now you on the back end
trying to play catch up.
And it's too late. I give you a relationship analogy. All this time you've been knowing what I need. How am I supposed to know you've been doing? Then now that I'm ready to walk out the door, well, what about when I did this? Well, what about when I did that? What about, well, I didn't see it, I didn't feel it, I didn't know it. Why you didn't tell me? Well, I just thought you would just know. No, I need you to tell. I need to know. You need to name that thing. It's called love languages, ain't it? So my love language is words of affirmation. I need to hear
I need
that.
you to affirm me, baby. Affirm me.
Affirm me. Y'all want to wait till you get to the back end and say, well, you don't remember that time that I said no? No, I got to hear it over. No, you told me you love me yesterday. I need to hear it today about 3, 4, 5 times. That's how politics works. It is a relationship. It's a relationship. And you have to train people how to teach you. Not with the expectations of what you want from that man, but what you're telling him, what you will and will not accept, what your boundaries are and not. We have to stop being codependent in political relationships. One other thing, I'll say this, and I'm gonna get to what we do. I promise you, but this is important. Look at what Trump did with the felons. Democrats have pardoned and gave clemency to way more. Westmore gave almost 200,000 clemency to those who had marijuana charges. When I interviewed Westmore, I said, why you not talking about this? Why are they not talking about this? The campaign should be telling you, I know. But why are they not? Why are y'all not saying that when you took marijuana off the federal schedule, that you were able to give clemency to almost 200,000? But no, y'all Democrats let Trump trot out 3, 4, 5 homies, Kwame Kilpatrick, Harry O, Angela Stanton King,
the right ones. Yep.
And able to make it seem like he done changed the world.
It brings about one of my favorite quotes. The Democrats didn't do it for reasons of modesty.
Right.
And one of my favorite quotes, because I love me some Toni Morrison and I love me some Nikki Giovanni and some Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, and I live by this. Maya Angelou said, modesty is a fake social affectation. There is nothing really real about being modest. Bitch, if you did it, say you did it.
Say you did it.
Modesty is fake. There's nothing real about being modest. If you did it, say you did it.
Well, people have a hard time with that, Funky, just like in the chat. Don't say that. This disrespect. See, the Democrat Party is a big tent. It's actually too big, actually. So it's so many people that they're trying to satisfy. And no, we don't want to say that. We want to do it.
We don't want to offend this person. We don't want to. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Nobody ever died of offense.
Right. That's
Nobody
right.
ever died of offense. And your birthright does not include living this earth without having your feelings hurt once or twice.
That's it.
In a lifetime.
That's
like,
it. And you need to go through the pain. Politics is business, guys. It's not to feel good. Go to church. You want to feel good on Sunday. But if you don't do the work on Monday, you're going to be right back depressed. To your point at the beginning about, the church and how the church, I got a whole analogy. We won't spend time on it today, but I'll show you the speech pattern for the pimps, pastors, and politicians. It is literally the same speech pattern. If we got time, I'll go through it. So let me tell you, you had 3, 4 people that he gave clemency. He gave many others for the First Step Act, which I supported. But Democrats have done way more to provide to clemency in part. But you don't want to tell nobody. Not even just because of modesty. It's also the elite of it all, Funky. They have a problem with aligning themselves with the hood or the street or that elitism is also why Trump was able to convince the common man. A rich man was able, he literally called it the lost man, the unheard, the unseen. He was able to make them think he was one of them because Democrats have a problem. They talk a lot about middle class. They skip over the poor. They skip over the downtrodden. They skip over, they don't really want to talk about Lazarus. They don't want to clean Lazarus up. They only want to talk about, a certain class level. Well, not only is it modest, but they also don't want to align themselves with the criminals. I got news for you. That's why they call me the Hood Whisperer. You can get 20,000 homies who are not on the ballot at all, not on anybody's rolls, not on anybody's voter registration. That's how I got Regina Hill elected in Orlando, Florida, was arrested 21 times. Did y'all hear what I said? Put 21 in the chat. Arrested 21 times, had a felon and beat everybody like a drum. Beat 7 people like a drum. Because we went to those that they forgot about. We went to those that they said that they weren't on the super voter list. We went to the ones that nobody knew and said, Lazarus, come forth. So you never saw them coming. And all it takes is about 5 to 10, 15,000 in one state. They can flip a whole state that you never even knew. A lot of these get out to vote strategies were also organizing people who were already organized. So even though they didn't give the Urban League a lot of money, I think they got a couple of million, the Urban League talking to urban leaguers. Those people are already organized.
Preaching to the choir. Fellow deaf ears.
Right,
They're not the ones who need the message. They don't need the message. They already got the message.
That's right. They already on board. I was looking at my friend. I love Tony Crump, Dr. Wes Bellamy, D.L. Hugh. They was on BET talking about black men, this and that. The black men that y'all need to be talking about ain't watching that shit. They don't like y'all. And those are my friends. But I'm telling you, they don't fuck with you.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
You gotta go. Why you give it to the homie? They can actually go have a conversation with somebody. I was telling Scarface, I was like, shit, never seen a man cry till I seen a man die. Scarface just almost died a couple of months ago. Go let him go talk to somebody about healthcare reform.
That makes it real.
That makes it real.
That's where they can feel it. That's where they can touch it. That's where they can smell it.
Right. Somebody that identified with you. So Democrats they love using our entertainers, but they use them in the wrong way. They beat me up about that when I said I don't want to throw entertainers away because they platforms are way bigger than mine. I just want them utilized in the right way. Like, we don't need our entertainers. We need all of us.
Yeah, we do. We need anybody who can get the message out in an effective
way. What we're asking you to do is partner with us. So for those that are saying, Tezlyn, what we do, I believe in push the line. I train hundreds of people a year. I'm trying funky to get the money together to be able to do this training again. We had 300 people that came to Atlanta, Georgia 2 years ago. My mind was blown. People spent their own dollar. They came from LA. They came from New York. They came from Houston, Dallas, you name it. It's a training that taught you how to, if you want to either run as nonpartisan, also black conservatives. I want black conservatives. Like, if you're going to be a black conservative, let's get you into some positions of power. Let's be a little bit more agile with our vote. Let's be, the Latino community is 50-50. That's why Joe Biden, as soon as he won, after he said he owed black people, when they leaked those tapes, when he said, y'all need to go follow Latino community. So they're the darling right now, because both sides want them. So I want us to be more agile with our vote. If you're going to go, all I ask is that you don't coon and don't sell us out. But if you're going to be over there, do the big thing. Shout out to
push the black agenda on either side.
On each side.
And if I could interject for a minute, quiet as it's kept, the word conservative has taken on a negative connotation because race has been introduced to the situation with Trump. But Tez, and we know this, black people more than not are conservative in their beliefs, in their views.
They are.
The church, hello, somebody, the black church. Black people are more conservative than we give ourselves acknowledgement for.
Right. The progressives and the progressive movement, they love arguing with me about this. The polls show. I don't give a damn about no polls. Most polls, look at the bottom. It's a sample, about 700 people, 1,000 people. I'm telling you what we know. Let's talk about grandma. Let's talk about my 93-year-old grandma. She's a Democrat. She swears she a Democrat. She ain't no Democrat. Grandma, you ain't no Democrat. You believe in sitting on your own bottom, what she call it. She ain't giving me nan. If you get yourself in that situation, you're going to work yourself out that situation.
Messing with the LGBT and the trans.
Yeah, she love them. But she
don't believe in it.
That's exactly right. But she ain't got no problem. She don't believe in marriage.
You ain't gonna marry.
Hey, grandma, hey, if I don't get in, if the Lord, all the work I'm doing, and if the Lord say I can't get in because it is what it is, I'm just gonna have to just go to hell. I ain't getting it all up. Now shit, I need something to help me get through it.
She probably don't believe in abortion.
She don't believe in abortion. She's been self-employed her entire life. Was a beautician, owned her own beauty shop. My grandfather owned his own mechanic shop. Self-employed, conservative, church 456. That's why I know the word so much. Church, Sunday school, 3 regular service.
We are a very conservative people. We really are.
Yes, we really are. And remember, guys, 60% of Black Americans are in the South. So when somebody said they not conservative, I think it froze. I hope it didn't freeze on us.
I can hear you.
Okay. We're not conservative. 60% of Black Americans in the South, guys, moderate at best.
Yeah.
But conservative. Even Black gay people, conservative in how they move.
Yes.
I need you to know that.
Minus the gay part.
Minus the gay part.
You're right.
And I want to give people an example so they know exactly what we're talking about, Funky. Like my grandmother, when we would get up to eat for church, I had to sit there and eat that oatmeal. I got 4 ounces of juice. It wasn't all this back and forth going and getting juice and all of that. My grandma wasn't on food stamps. She was really concerned. She did, you remember canning. So we
Yes.
use every jar became a what? A glass.
Yeah, preserves all
That's
that.
right. I can go to my grandma's house right now and live for the next 5 years.
Sure can.
Because of everything that she got. Her mindset was conservative. Save, 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 save. Don't spend what you can't spend. That's a Republican mindset, which is small government. That mindset. It wasn't when you get out of church. If you didn't eat that oatmeal from this morning, baby, you're going right back to the table till you eat that oatmeal. So when Black people were raised in those type of those are conservative Republican values. We have a lot of that in us. What do we say? Decent and in order.
And decency in the order.
Well,
really quickly, guys, her screen froze, but she's still here. And for those of you guys saying her Cash App is declining, we don't fucked it up. We don't flooded her Cash App out. Cash App done told the lady they probably think she doing fraud and gonna hold her money up. But it's we good. We good.
I appreciate that. Was such a blessing.
Indeed,
it's such a blessing, guys, because doing this work, you do not get paid. People like to say, you got paid to check. Let me give you breaking news. They don't pay us, guys. Let me whisper like Joe Biden. Ain't nobody paying to fight for us. You can go look at the 527 lines if you don't believe me. This
Tez, do me a favor. Come out, then come back in. Go out and come back in.
Okay.
And guys, I know some of y'all talking about y'all hungry. It's 9:45. We just gonna run this whole into 10 o'clock because we doing good. We gonna run it to 10. Like y'all, this is Tez is giving me what I need. This is what it's about. I am loving all of this. For those of y'all who gotta go and y'all gotta eat, go eat. Yeah, catch it on the replay. But we talking that real stuff, trying to get ourselves up. I was hoping Tez would give me an email address linked to another one of her accounts or whatever, so we could flood out her PayPal or whatever. I was gonna tell y'all girls to send it to me or whatever, but if y'all send it to me after all this stuff I had to buy from Home Goods, ain't no guarantee that it's gonna make it to her or whatever the case may be. But her thing is child, we don't flood it out the bandwidth of spring, y'all. I promise y'all. It's 9:46. We gonna run it to 10. Don't say I ain't never did nothing for you whores, because I have, but this is really good conversation. And what I love about it is that the conversation is one that everybody can follow. It's very grassroots and rudimentary in its approach. It makes sense. And Tez is back and she's active and it makes sense. And that's why I love people like Tez on the platform who can break down subject area that many of us are bored by. I'm not going to lie. To this last election, I was bored by this political shit. I didn't give a damn. Whatever. I'm going to work every day, paying my whatever. That's nerdy people stuff. But when that shit started to impact your life, you need people like Tez, the hood whisperer, to break that shit down so we can understand what's going on. Go ahead, Tez.
Okay, and I promise I'm gonna be fast because I don't. And thank you so much, for giving me this time.
And of course, love.
So people say, what do we do? I had a training where we train people nonpartisan, but it's not just my training. I'm trying to see what we can do to get the money to do more of the training. But guys, I've been saying it the whole time. If you've been listening, get involved in your local level. I don't give a damn if you're running for school, superintendent, school dog catcher, go to your meetings, states' rights is what it is. And so you need to be involved. Everything. Can you still hear me? Because we froze, but I know you don't want me to get out again.
Tez, we hear you. Hold on. Tez. Let me get on the line. Tez.
Oh, the devil is busy.
We hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, well, the devil, but you see how the devil.
So do this then. Mute. Which phone has to be muted? I think I have to mute mine. Okay, keep the phone on. That way, yeah, we hear you. Hello? Oh, it went out. Hold on, Ted. Hold on. Oh, it went out on the computer.
Because I was going to get on with my phone to see if that works.
No. Just keep talking.
Okay. So I'll be fast because I know the video. People need the video a lot. Bottom line is, guys, get involved on the local level.
Keep talking.
Do what you. I don't know if you can still hear me or not.
I can hear you.
Text me if you can still hear me.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Get involved on the local level, guys. I have a program called Push the Line. I'm hoping that I can get that back going again. I have a real hard time charging people for stuff, so I don't want to charge people for the program. So we're trying to raise some money to do that. It's a very successful program. It teaches you all the real of the real. It is where you have to leave your feelings at the door. It's not about, feeling good. It's about giving you the truth. I've been to every training, most of the top trainings in the country, and I have not found one that gave us as Black people the real truth. But if you can't come to my training, you can certainly sign up to know when I can have that training. Text push the line, all one word, PUSHTHELINE, push the line to 66866. Follow me on Instagram at Tezlyn Figaro. We'll make sure you get that information. But it's not about following me per se. The first module that we have in Push the Line it's not about me. It's not about we, it's about me. So do your small part. If your small part is like what you're doing, Funky, by saying, hey, every now and then I'm going to bore people to death and force y'all to listen to this politics, then you've done your part. If it's every now and then where you say, hey, you know what, I'm going to show up at a school board meeting and I'm going to listen, then you've done your part. If you don't want to run for office, volunteer on somebody's campaign, support somebody, get behind somebody. Do not give up. You cannot just hand your state over to let them do whatever they want to do and turn you every way but loose. This is the time that the dry bones must get up. I know every job is not for everybody. I don't expect everybody to be an advocate. I don't expect everybody to be a candidate. I don't expect everybody to be a bootleg preacher like me. But what I need you to do is to find something within you that say, how can I be a help? It might just be following my podcast, clicking a like, sharing what I'm saying, something. There has to be something, because what we cannot afford to do is completely get out of the process. There's a lot of memes that Black women saying, I'm done with it. I'm just going to watch it burn. Oh, how I wish I could just watch it burn. Oh, how I wish I could just not care about the next and the next and the next and the next generation. I just can't do it. I have to be. Now, we ain't running out in front of no Karen and Ken. Now, please believe that. We ain't gonna just run out here and keep on being your, keep on being no martyr for you. Let's be clear about that. But I do need your support. And it might be the simplest thing. If it's donating to a nonprofit, if it's showing up at a meeting, if it's jumping in the comments, if it's supporting Funky's podcast, if it's supporting my podcast. We do have to have likes. We do have to have shares. We do have to stay in business to at least continue to do what we're doing. So it's very simple. It's not asking much. The very least, support somebody, get behind them, push the line, politics until something happens. I can't hear you, but I know you can hear me. So everybody within the sound of my voice, I want you to know this is exactly how this system works. I think Quentin's FaceTime me now. Can you still hear me?
I can. Okay. Just mute your phone. That way, I hear you. Just mute your cell phone. Mute your cell phone. So that way you can at least look at me for cues. I hear you though.
Okay. Let me mute. Let me just show you. Let me just give you this. Do y'all see how the enemy be working? See, this is what politics is about. This is what this is about. See, and when I'm getting in my groove and just at the moment when it's time to say, Tezlyn, what can we do? You see how the enemy try to distract me? You see how he say, well, let me interrupt. Let me see if Funky gonna go through enough to get her back on the line. Let me see if she gonna stand in position. Let me see if she gonna stand steadfast. Let me see if somebody in the comments just gonna stick around just a little while longer. Let me see if she got the tenacity. I got news for you. I see the devil is a lie when it comes to, see, this is what doing this work is all about, Funky. This is what doing. See, when the Wi-Fi don't come through, when the video don't come through, are you going to stand? I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it, but this is my spoken word, and what it says is this: my DNA is twisted, lyric gifted, use my words from politics to poetry, but either way I spit this. My words shut down my misfits. Stilettos on the female Moses, my rod is my lipstick. I just need an Aaron to commit. Let me pause for a moment. What an Aaron is, he's the communicator. When Moses said, I didn't know what to do, then he said, don't worry about it. I'm going to send a communicator. So Funky's being my Aaron right now. Even though Funky said he out the process, God put him back in and said, you got work to do. If nothing else, you're going to open up this live. If nothing else, you're going to put her up in the mix. If nothing else, the people going to tell her, bring on Aaron into the building. So my poem says, I just need an Aaron to commit. My words shut down my misfits. Stilettos on the female Moses. My rod is my lipstick. See, the devil should have killed me when you had the chance. So now he nervous because he know I'm taking him to the promised land. Write down my vision in the sand like Jesus did with spit. And I make enemies ill real sick. Perform exorcisms, shaking fits. Forget 5-star. I'm a 9-planet universal chick. And the sun is the light of mine. And I'll promise I'll never deny the divine. Just look at my name closely and you will see a sign. And it begins with the letter T. T like the cross. And he gave me this rhyme. And he said, do this in remembrance of me. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blessing.
It has been a blessing. Everybody. Oh my God. Let me mute this. Tezlyn, stay on the FaceTime.
Okay.
Let me close out. Listen, y'all. This show was nothing sheer of amazing. I'm going to go ahead and say it out loud. She is going to be one of our resident political commentators. Thank you all to the damn near 6,000 people who sat until 10 o'clock. Y'all rock with me. Y'all rock with Tez. We don't mess up this lady Cash App. I hope she able to get her money. And I'm gonna hit y'all back for those who want to donate, and we're gonna do something tomorrow. I love those of y'all who are saying this is different from the Breakfast Club. One thing about my platform is I let people come and be them and do their thing. This was great. Be sure to text push the line to 66866, and we will reconvene tomorrow, guys. I love y'all and good night. Mwah, mwah, mwah.